Hello and welcome to another episode of Weather Nerds. I'm First Alert Weather Nerd CD Finley here, joining you today. And we are now on episode number 5 of Weather Nerds, believe it or not. That marks 5 weeks of the Weather Nerds podcast. So here we are, just a little over a month later, still kicking it. So again, if you're not familiar with what Weather Nerds is, we kind of go over all of the local and national weather headlines here, kind of keep you all up to date, in just a little bit of a different format as opposed to, our typical, 3-minute conversations that we have on air. So in regard to what we got going on with the weather headlines today, there's actually quite a lot. I mean, obviously we're at the end of March, of course, time of this recording, and if you're live watching this on Facebook, welcome. And of course, again, these recordings go out to the Degrees of Science YouTube channel as well if you can't catch the live recording. But in terms of the weather headlines today, again, we got quite a lot. Again, end of March, and it hasn't really been feeling like March. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Again, one of the big headlines from just yesterday, as of the time of this recording, yesterday would be Tuesday, March 25th. We tied the afternoon high temperature record for March 25th. That being, of course, the temperature of 91 degrees was yesterday's high, tying that record from 1928. That is a 97-year-old record that we tied yesterday. It's also the hottest day that we have had in Central Texas since October 30th, 2024. So we haven't been this warm in quite a while, and for those of you who have been around Central Texas long enough, this is just a little bit of a taste of what's to come. Obviously, summertime rolls around, we start talking triple digits. It's pretty common around here. But the thing is, considering this was an afternoon high temperature record that we tied, that begs the question, is this normal? Obviously not, right? We're usually sitting in the 70s for this time of year at the end of March, which is a good 20 degrees above normal from March 25th, which is, again, time of this recording yesterday. So this is not necessarily the kind of record that you want to be tying or even breaking, because that means, that summer-like feel is happening a little bit earlier. But it was because of that summer-like feel yesterday that we had some pop-up storm chances, as a matter of fact. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look back at where we've been so far in March 2025. Again, this week's episode is likely the last episode before we get to the month of April. So obviously we'll have a more full and complete, final numbers look, likely with next week's episode 6. But so far, up to this point, March 25th, March 26th timeframe, we've spent the entire month of March, or mostly anyway, above average when it comes to those temperatures, putting us at an average high of about 78, 79 degrees, if you round that up, putting us about 8.5 degrees above what is normal for the month of March. And you may also have noticed there, if you count them up, there's at least 3 90-degree days. So now we've had 3 90-degree days heading into the year of 2025, and we are very far behind in terms of the rainfall as well. We've only seen about half an inch of rainfall so far through the month of March all the way up to this episode, and that's 3 inches below normal. And so while I'm saying, yes, I do want to point out again, we'll have more final numbers heading into next week's episode, there's actually going to be some changes with that part of the forecast, as you'll hear pretty soon. But again, 3 90-degree days so far. Thankfully, no 100-degree days just yet. Some of you may remember February 2024, Killeen actually was the first city to hit triple digits. Haven't hit that yet in Central Texas anywhere. So that's the good news there. But again, when it comes to that rainfall surplus, it's not just March 2025 that we're behind. It's pretty much from January 1st all the way up to this point. So far in a year of 2025, we've only seen a little over 4 inches of rainfall, and we're usually around 8 inches at this point, putting us about 4 inches below normal when it comes to the rainfall surplus. So it's not really a surplus, it's more of a deficit at this point. So that's something that we're having to play catch up on when it comes to our forecasting. So that's one of the things that has been kind of taking the headlines. Again, we've hit that 90-degree temperature from today, or from yesterday, I should say, Tuesday, March 25th, hit that, or tied that daily temperature record. Been above average in terms of the temperatures. It's been really warm for March 2025, and we've been kind of in a rainfall deficit, not even just from the beginning of this year, but even since May 2024. Again, some of you may remember, and actually I may be able to pull up a graphic to kind of explain this a little bit better. But since May 2024, we've been pretty low in terms of the rainfall amounts. Let's see if I can find this graphic here, year to date. Here we go. Year-to-date rainfall. And so when I say year-to-date, this is actually for all of 2024. So these were the 2024 final numbers. And again, you can see May 2024, we hit that 15-inch mark. Life was fantastic. We had plenty of water to last us through the summer. Some of our area lakes were even flooding at points. And then ever since then, we've been below normal. A whole lot of grayish tan color there on the bars from June onward. We got pretty close to the normal in December, but ever since then, we haven't been at or above normal since May, essentially, or May 2024, essentially. So it's been about a year now, almost a year, since we've been able to catch back up with those rainfall totals. So that's something that we're hoping we can mitigate over the next few months, but that also is unfortunately not looking very likely. One of the things that, again, we'll probably hit on this again in episode 6 next week, but one of the things that the Climate Prediction Center puts out is the monthly outlook for the upcoming months. And so the April outlook is obviously already out for the precipitation, and that's not looking too pretty either. We're talking higher chances of below normal precipitation here in central Texas and all the way into east or west Texas, and pretty much the entire state of New Mexico and all the way far into Utah, Colorado, Arizona, the desert region essentially, which is pretty typical for them. They are usually dry considering it's a desert region, but here in central Texas, not so much. This isn't typically normal, is to see below normal amounts, especially as we head further into severe weather season, which has already been kind of popping off. We haven't really seen much in the way of any crazy severe weather here in central Texas. We have seen, a few pop-up showers here and there that have brought some isolated hail in some cases. Even, again, your Tuesday, March 25th, when we broke that, or not broke, but tied that high temperature record, we reached something that is called the convective temperature. Essentially, it was so warm outside that any moisture that was out there was able to rise and create some isolated thunderstorms. And this, what you're about to see here, is actually a screen grab I took of Radar Scope, which is another mobile radar app that many meteorologists, including myself, tend to use. And you can see that yesterday, this was around Tuesday, March 25th at 2 o'clock, you could see a few pop-up clouds that were getting picked up on the radar, sending out radar echoes. And the thing is that while it's showing up on radar, those little tiny storms that were trying to get going there actually didn't have any rainfall beneath them. They were kind of capped by a dry layer of air at the surface, I should say, so it's not necessarily capped, but it prevented any rainfall from reaching the surface, and it also prevented them from growing any further. So here in central Texas, we were able to avoid some of those isolated type storm systems. Meanwhile, last night, again, Tuesday, March 25th, the evening of March 25th, other places up in the DFW Metroplex, they actually did have a few showers and thunderstorms. So what we're looking at here is a 24-hour radar loop from our KWTX radar network. And you can see if we go back to Tuesday evening, you should be able to see those little pop-up showers that try to get glowing closer towards Clifton. And I may have to turn this on so you can see it. There we go. So back around 6 p.m., maybe even a little bit earlier. There you go. You can see that was basically the radar grab that I had just a moment ago from Radar Scope. And then they kind of just fizzled away, right? So heading into the evening hours after the temperatures obviously dropped, that was really the only reason that we had, anything pop up. But then our neighbors to the north in the DFW Metroplex they were actually dealing with some isolated severe thunderstorms. And I don't have any pictures to show you today, unfortunately, but there were some pretty interesting pictures that I saw on social media, Facebook and the like, of people out in the Dallas area, just to the east of Dallas. As you can see, that storm that was moving over McKinney was pretty loud with hail and lightning and wind around 8 and 9 o'clock that night, and even out towards Terrell. So there was quite a bit of hail and winds reported out there on Tuesday evening. And that's kind of how it's been with the severe weather here in Central Texas as of late. I mean, that's the good thing, is that it's hasn't been quite as widespread or as bad as other places, as you'll see in a moment. But it's also kind of, as you saw a moment ago, we were on that rainfall deficit, and we desperately need the rain. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess, so to speak. But in other places, though, aside from, here in Texas, it has been very, very active. So I took the liberty of putting together this quick Canva graphic that you're about to see that shows the tornado count by state from the beginning of this year, January 1st, 2025, all the way to the current date. So at the time of this recording, again, this is March 26th, 2025. Again, if you're watching this live on Facebook, you're watching it live. But if you're on the Degrees of Science YouTube channel watching the recording, obviously this is going to be a little bit different for you. But let's go ahead and take a look at this graphic and kind of see what states are leading. And obviously, you can see there, Mississippi is leading by a large margin, 70 reported tornadoes between January 1st and March 26th, 2025. So it definitely appears that severe weather season and basically what many would consider to be Tornado Alley has kind of shifted a little bit further to our southeastern states. Alabama had some pretty big tornado outbreaks, and even Missouri at one point just a few weeks ago was dealing with some pretty strong severe weather, especially in the St. Louis area. So it's no surprise that Missouri and Illinois are up there in the 30s with those tornado counts as well. But here in Texas, we've only seen 9 tornadoes reported so far, many of which were likely not notable. Oklahoma at 7, Tennessee at 9. So definitely, what many may consider to be Dixie Alley, basically those southeastern states, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, have been a little bit more active in recent times. But that being said, your typical Tornado Alley, which would be, basically from here in Texas all the way up into North Dakota and the Great Plains, hasn't necessarily been shifting. It's just more so the pattern, I think, that we typically see throughout a severe weather season. Mostly in the early months, so March into early April, it usually is, those southeastern states that get really active just because it's where all of the moisture is located. And that's kind of where the jet stream tends to set up as we enter that transition period from winter and into spring. But as we head into the meat of spring, so like middle of April all the way into the middle of May, we typically see a shift from those southeastern states to the Great Plains. And so while the numbers of reported, severe hazards in Texas and Oklahoma and even Kansas and Nebraska, mind you, may be low at the moment, those will likely increase as we head further into these spring months. And so that's something that we're kind of anticipating and watching for as we head further into the month of spring. Again, it's severe weather season. It is here, and we're likely going to see, as many of you Central Texans may know already, some more spring-like weather and spring-like storms heading into the weeks to come, in which we also have some in our forecast already. But we'll get to that here momentarily. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. I don't believe we have. So actually, we can probably just go ahead and jump straight on into it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast. Obviously, in the upcoming week, we are trying to battle that rainfall deficit, and there is good news there. While we've been dry for the last month and dry for almost the last 10 months, we have some good news. So let's go ahead and take a look here. This is the 3-day graphic. If I can pull it up and show you that we have rain chances, and actually it might help if I pull it up on here as well. We have rain chances coming up into Thursday and Friday of this week. So again, this episode is airing for the week of March 26th, the day that this is being recorded. And Thursday and Friday, the 27th, 28th, we have some higher rain chances heading into Thursday and Friday, which should hopefully be very beneficial. What we're looking at here is the North American model heading into Thursday, the 27th, and Friday, the 28th. So you can see the storm system actually approaches from the south. So the higher rainfall totals are likely going to be back down in our southern counties. So places like Killeen Temple and even as far south as Georgetown could see upwards of maybe 1 to 2 inches. Expecting most of central Texas to see anywhere between about half an inch to maybe upwards of an inch. But as you'll see in a moment, the North American model gets a little bit excited when it comes to those rainfall totals. And we're hoping, fingers crossed, that this is the model that verifies. But heading into Thursday afternoon on the 27th, again, you'll see hopefully some rain showers moving across central Texas. Likely not severe, thankfully. But we'll head into Thursday and Friday with plenty of rainfall. And again, even overnight into Friday, some of our southern counties could be seeing some of those rain showers. And then Friday the 27th, the rain coverage is about the same, mainly in our eastern half before it clears out Friday night and into Saturday. And we'll likely spend most of Saturday the 29th dry. So, again, when we're talking about the rainfall totals, this is the North American model through Friday, March 28th. Picking up on about an inch or maybe even 2 inches in some cases of rainfall across central Texas, especially in that western half. Again, we've been bone dry, but it's not just that. The dirt out there has been very, very loose because of the lack of rainfall. And some of you may remember in previous episodes 3 and 4 especially, we were talking big about the dust storms that we'd been experiencing here in central Texas, which is pretty typical for West Texas, not so much here. But all of that dust that's been picked up is because of that lack of rainfall. Hopefully, if this verifies, we could maybe see a little bit of relief when it comes to not just precipitation amounts, but that West Texas dust as well, which is something that we really need. So that's something to consider. And when it comes to these, this storm setup, you can take a look here. This is currently the day 2 outlook. Obviously, this will be shifted as we head into Thursday, the 27th, as it typically does. But you can see that there's actually a level 2 out of 5 slight in South Texas, from San Antonio all the way nearly to the, or pretty much right at the Texas-Mexico border. So that's where all the action is actually going to be heading into Thursday. Friday, however, it shifts a little bit further to the north. As you saw with that model a moment ago, those rain showers are actually likely going to go back into central Texas. And we do have a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk that kind of clips our area here in our region. So again, some of those southern areas and eastern areas could see maybe a strong thunderstorm or two. But beyond that, the severe weather risk isn't overly high. So that's the good thing, though. We have some rainfall on the way, and hopefully everything, kind of cooperates in terms of rainfall amounts and, severe intensity and things like that. So that's what we're watching heading into the end of this week. But beyond that, we actually have even more storm chances. So heading into Sunday, March 30th. And let me see if I can fix this because it is overlaying and it shouldn't be. Give me 1 second, folks. I apologize. That's the thing about our graphics. You kind of have to update them on the fly because they like to do that sometimes. Here we go. That's more like it. So now we've got that to go away. So you can see along the eastern half of our area, the day 5 outlook at the time of this recording has a 15% possible tag along and east of the I-35 corridor. So it's possible we could see, another setup where it's like we see a few showers and thunderstorms pop up before they move off to the east. Another one of those situations where it could be a very quick chance for some stronger storms, as we've typically seen over the last few weeks. And that's kind of been the main headline. So, or one of the headlines, I should say. So that's what we're kind of watching here with the headlines locally over the next week or so. Again, that's the upcoming forecast. What else do we have going on in the weather department? Well, first and foremost, before I forget to mention it, our first alert chief meteorologist, Brady Taylor, he has a wonderful episode on degrees of science with a NOAA scientist, meteorologist, talking about space weather. So at the time of this recording, it should actually be up on the Degrees of Science YouTube channel. Of course, again, this episode will be recorded and put on the Degrees of Science YouTube channel if you didn't catch the live episode. But wonderful episode there. You should definitely check it out. Other things that we have going on, I've had a pretty busy week as well. From this past weekend, we had the Brazos Valley Co-op audio and video and audio class, video production class, I should say, come and visit us at KWTX, and we actually had them on television at the end of our show. So let's go ahead and take a look at that clip right here. It's pretty cool.
All right, guys. Well, before we say goodnight, you may notice we have some special guests here with us tonight, and they're from the Brazos Valley Co-op video production class. And guys, did you guys enjoy the show?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay,
go.
CD, they might take our spots. You never know.
They could. You never know.
You never know. So remember these faces, guys. All right, that's all our time for tonight, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
So yeah, there you go. That was a little clip of the Brazos Valley Co-op video production class at the end. They were awesome guests. They really enjoyed getting to tour the station and seeing what it looks like behind the scenes. So that's kind of one of the fun things that we got to do from this past week. And of course, many of you may have heard it in episode 4 as well as some of our social media pages. But I personally was recognized as a China Spring ISD distinguished alum from this past week, this past Thursday evening. So again, here's some pictures from that. There's me with my Distinguished Alum Award. They also surprised me with a brick that they're going to put on the high school campus. So it was a wonderful event. I actually got to talk to some of the top 10% of their graduating class from this year and give them a little bit of my wisdom as from my journey to becoming a meteorologist. And then again, there's a picture of me and my whole family there at the event. It was a wonderful thing to get to do. So Again, shout out to the China Spring ISD Board of Education. Thank you for inviting me to that event. It was a lot of fun. So that's kind of what we've had going on here in the weather department from the last week. Again, that was kind of a look at your local and future headlines here with the forecast. Again, I got to go get ready for the noon show. So if you're watching live, I'm about to hop on over to KWTX Channel 10. Feel free to watch us there coming up in about 7 minutes at noon. But then again, if you're watching here on the Degrees of Science YouTube channel or on Facebook Live as well, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This has been episode 5 of Weather Nerds, and I hope to catch you all here, hopefully, at 11 o'clock next week. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it.